Suppliers of landscaping materials and also haulage contractors for sand and gravel and fertilisers and grain and all bulk products. And we service the Yass and the Murray Bateman area with the landscaping supplies. And Ian and Vicky have been in business for a long time in the area, and they're great sponsors of the racing industry. And Ian has owned many horses and still does. And he'd like to apologise for not being here today.
What's your position with the company?
I'm actually the manager of the landscaping yard and the truck coordinator for the movements of the bulk haulage and grain and fertiliser and that.
Yeah, well, I think with the landscaping, I noticed that Yass is a very picturesque place and they're very house proud.
Yes, they are, which is very fortunate for us, and they do. And the business we have has been built up for a number of years, and we have a lot of customers coming back to us and tell us that it's not too bad. Yeah.
I'm sure it is. Well, let's see if we can excavate a winner in your race, the one coming up.
It's very tough. It's a very good field all day today. It is, in all the races, and I think a box trifecta with 3, 6 and 8 would be good.
Well, number 3, of course, is Asheen.
Yep, that's it.
All right, well, there we got the latest tip. Thanks very much for being with us.
Yep, thank you very much.
Pretty appropriate too. Asheen, the tip in the upcoming race. And, of course, our deft director today is Asher. Back to you, Chris.
She is indeed, and she is keeping me on my toes as we speak. And, yes, there are a few omen tips there at Canberra today, so we're having our 2 bob each way on them. It's an old expression, isn't it? OK, Warwick Farm's not far off. Here he is. Here's Rod Gallagher.
Good on you, Chris, back here at Canberra. Well, the man who is in form on the track today is Michael Heath. 2 winners and a second. Can we make it 3?
That's 3 winners. Let's hope so, Rod. A real tough event here, though. I've settled on 12 My Mimi. A little bit easy on course. Opened up around about a half a point under each way odds with the bookmakers. It's got out around about the 5-6 to 1 mark now. She's a half-sister to Chosen Warrior, who won a country cup over 1,600 metres at Randwick. She does look well, and she's been screaming out for this journey. I expect her to run boldly. Big danger here, too, Miss Marja Kit. Well in commission with the bookmakers. Opened up equal favourite on course. Has been competing in much tougher events than she meets this afternoon. Will be running on strongly. An 8-star of Ruby. I've never seen this mare look better or fitter today. Again, a shade disappointing last start, but she's expected to improve, and she is well in commission with the bookmakers. Others to look well, a 3 Asheen and 1 Destruction. And number 10, Intrepid Step, around about 20 to 1. Could blow them all out. But summing it up, I've got 12 My Mimi on top. Dangers 2 Miss Marja Kit and 8-star of Ruby.
A couple of others there for the multiple players.
Indeed.
Good on you, Michael. Michael Heath there with the summing up on race 4 as we go back to Chris.
OK, thanks, Rod, and Michael, who's in great form today, so keep following that. Young Dong at 10, 10s for Intrepid Step. Long Din Silver is out, 6.90 My Mimi, the late male tip, and Rev and Let Rip is 41. And they're almost set there at Canberra as we take you back to Tony Campbell.
Now they're all in. The line is set over there at the 1,600 metres, an open betting race, this one. This is race 4 on Yass Cup Day 1998. Waiting on the light. There's the light. They're set. And away they go. Now, Yun Dong got away well. Roses are blue, prominent, followed by Okamister Sheen. Destruction back along the inside. Then Vanelli. Further back behind those then came Ink, followed by Miss Marja Kit, Star of Ruby. And dropping out to last was My Mimi. As they settle down and sweep down the back, they've got about 1,300 to go. And Rev and Let Rip under a good rain is the leader. Keen to go a little bit quicker. About 2 in front of Intrepid Step, moving to second, followed by a Sheen third. A neck off then the stablemate Vanelli on the outside. 2 behind those, Roses are blue, followed then by Miss Marja Kit, Destruction. Okamister's on the outside, followed by Star of Ruby, Yun Dong. Ink down towards the inside, and about 2 then My Mimi last of all, as they leave the back and commence the run down the side. And Rev and Let Rip is joined by Vanelli on the outside, a length behind those Intrepid Step. Asheen getting a soft run on the inside. 3 behind those Miss Marja Kit, further back to Roses are blue, followed by Okamist. Then Star of Ruby starting a run, further back then Destruction, followed by Yun Dong, Ink and My Mimi last of all. Up towards the turn, 500 to go, and again down towards the inside. Rev and Let Rip just in front of Vanelli, going up 3 wide to make a line of 3. Intrepid Step, followed then by Asheen. Then Miss Marja Kit, Roses are blue, followed then by Star of Ruby. In between runners looking for a run. Okamister's going wide with Yun Dong, and My Mimi's the widest runner in the straight. 300 to go. Intrepid Step is the leader. Miss Marja Kit moved up on the outside, running on fairly well. Okamist and then Yun Dong down the centre, but Miss Marja Kit reached the lead on the outside. Yun Dong is trying hard with with Oakamist. Miss Margikit getting tired. It's Oakamist and Yundong on the outside, but Miss Margikit pulling out plenty, flashing up Destruction, but too late. Miss Margikit has won. Now I think Destruction may have got second, just in front of Oakamist and Yundong. Then My Mimi back behind those, Ink, followed by Intrepid Step, Roses are Blue, Star of Ruby, Ash Sheen, Vernelli and Revan let rip the early leader last. Big finish. It looks as though Miss Margikit has held on here, but Destruction was flying on the outside. Yeah, good finish here. We've had some tremendous finishes this afternoon. Miss Margikit, Lindsay Thompson riding desperately. Oakamist, we had two sets of green colours. Miss Margikit in the pale green and yellow. Oakamist in the green. And yeah, it looks as though it's held on this particular runner, Miss Margikit. And Oakamist was battling on, but Destruction on the outside has simply flown. Yundong looked a bit of a chance at one stage. Now Destruction, it's the grey coming quickly, but the numbers are 216. 216 official. Miss Margikit, Destruction and Oakamist. 216 official. Miss Margikit, Lindsay Thompson, the winner. Destruction, Troy Phillips second. And Oakamist, Matthew Carl third. The numbers are official, 216.
Okay, another great finish there at Canberra. A very keen racing there, and that was the fourth with 2, 1 and 6 the numbers, thanks to Tony Campbell. Caulfield, it's Rod Gallegos is back there at Canberra, and he has leading trainer John Morrissey with him.
Certainly do, Chris. John Morrissey, a dominant figure in this area. John, we drove past, of course, Capricorn Park on the way to the Yass function last night. You've got a magnificent setup.
Yeah, it's coming along beautiful. Mr. Hall's really sort of put a lot into it, and the tracks are coming along good. It's going to be beautiful down the track a little bit.
Now, you've got a 1,500-metre straight course.
Yeah, and it rises a metre every 100 metres.
You work them the same way on the track, or do you reverse it?
No, we work them the same way. We work them uphill, but we also have a circular track out there, which we work both Melbourne and Sydney way.
Yeah, well, of course, you do make a few trips to Victoria, so I suppose it must be advantageous to have your own training track.
Yeah, and when you're on a place like, you find there's a lot of horses that go better the different ways. And like Camarina, when she run second in the Fly Stakes, I didn't take her to Melbourne because she's never happy going the Melbourne way out there. So, you know, I hope to sort of take more horses to Melbourne in the future. Yeah.
As I say, it's a lovely setup, and I suppose one of the things or problems with metropolitan stables is horses can suffer from a bit of boredom, can't they, locked up in boxes, and you've got a superb setup.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and we're lucky to have the stables at Canberra too, where we can bring the babies in to educate them here and swap it around a bit, and, you know, horses go out there and they, you know, improve out of sight.
Well, John, what do you think coming up now? What are your best chances?
Celebra in this race is probably the best chance, but it's probably a fraction short for him. He's a nice horse that's going to run a long distance, but he's coming along nicely.
I hope you're right, John, because I made him the late mail.
Okay, thanks very much.
Good on you. John Morrissey with us here at Canberra, a leading trainer in the area, and he does have a magnificent setup. Let's go to another setup now as we go to Murray Bridge and Brenton Yates.
They're ready to jump. Race 4 of the day. This is the...
Chris, you might have noticed, Chris, in that previous race at Murray Bridge, a horse called Power Plan running all over the track. Its galloping ability is similar to mine last night. And in the previous race here, I backed a horse called Destruction, which so adequately fits the man who's with me now, Andrew Hambrook of the Australian Hotel.
G'day, Rod. How you going?
Mate, I'm just going all right, but your hospitality last night was outstanding. Tell us about the Australian Hotel. It's a good punting pub.
Yeah, it's a great punting pub. We've just recently opened up a TAB, so if you're in town, come in and have a bet, and all your services will be well catered for.
Well, they certainly are. It stays open till late too, I can give you the tip. How long you been there, Andrew?
We've owned the hotel since 1990, and we've been back there for the last 2 years.
And the pub tab turnover, is it good?
Yeah, it's real good. It's going really good. It's been open for 3 weeks now, and it's just getting better and better and better.
Andrew, thanks very much. I'm sorry you've got to cut it short because they are starting to get ready there at Wedderburn. But again, thanks for what you did to me.
No worries, Rod.
Andrew Hambrook, as we go to Brian Bennett at Wedderburn.
Rialdo in the centre, just easing out of it is Anna Rowe.
Of course, and John, you've had a great racing relationship with Barbara Joseph.
Yeah, we've had a really good last few seasons, especially the start of this season. We've really gone well.
And she doesn't mind where she goes. She flits interstate.
No, she'll go anywhere, chasing the good prize money and placing the horses where they can win.
And John, probably for her to move about a bit now is a bit difficult. I noticed that she's broken down.
Yeah, she's in plaster for a few more weeks. She strained her Achilles tendon, and she's had a little motorised bike to get around on, and other than that, just on the crutches.
Well, I don't think anything will stop her. John, what about your rides today? What do you think of your best?
Well, I thought Sporting was pretty well placed in the mile race here later on. He races well at this track, and his last run at Kembla Grange was good, over a mile behind horse of Maxie Wiggins is one of them short name ones. I forget it now, but it was a good run. Bombardment ran third in the race, and then he won at Rose Hill after that. And as I said, he won here on Cup Day over 1400, and he races well at this track.
Yeah, big syndicate, I think, in Sporting, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot of guys, all from Yass, so it'll be good if he can win for him.
Would be a popular win. And Zab Purr in the Cup.
Yes, he's only a Class 1 horse and having his third start today in a Class 3. In saying that, he's a very smart horse, but potential-wise. But you know, he's got barrier 1. If he can show a little bit of speed, he'd be right in the race. But you know, he's still very well inexperienced.
John, you do a very good form assessment. Have you thought of the media?
Oh, not just yet, but you never know what happens down the line.
Well, there's been a few successful jockeys do it, so you might be the next.
Oh, well, let's see.
Keep riding winners.
Thanks.
John Scourse with us here as Canberra as we go back to Chris.
Okay, thanks, Rod. Yes, all happening down there. Great day of racing at Canberra, and the program's sailing along really well on Yass Cup Day. Now, the placings at Wedderburn now are official: 4, 6 and 1. Kentina Magic, Escalate and Nero's Queen. So the favourite getting home in race 3 as they move up now at Warwick Farm, and we see that Grumpy is out to 380 now. Temulac at 530, Sudden Quinella 2680, and the trifecta of 2, 1 and 6, $234, race 4 Canberra. Caulfield, number 5 Nakuma, 6. As we take you back for race 5, here's Tony.
Thanks, Chris. All in now. Waiting on the light. Sporting favourite. Gates open now. Sporting missed it by about a length or so and back to the tail of the field. Just Bluffing and Stylish Conquest got out well. Foggers looking for the lead. In behind those, Celebra, followed by Moral Danger, San Reno, then King's Risk and Sandpiper Lane. Back behind those in the field, Shigatsi on the outside of Untrue. A length and a half behind those, Royal Commissioner, and a similar margin, Sporting at the tail of the field. Down the back, they're fairly well spread out with about 1100 to go, and Just Bluffing. A stablemate of Sporting is the leader under a good rain, about 2 in front of Stylish Conquest. A neck off Fog third on the outside, followed by Moral Danger, San Reno. In between runners, Celebra. Back behind those, centre field, King's Risk, followed by Sandpiper Lane. Shigatsi going between runners. In behind those, Untrue is third last. Back behind those, Royal Commissioner. And as they leave the back and race down the side, a length off, Sporting at the tail of the field. Down the side, 700 out and no change in the order, where the leader was Just Bluffing, 3/4 of a length in front of Fog. San Reno moves to third, followed by Stylish Conquest. In between runners, gaining ground was Celebra. Further back then, Sandpiper Lane. The next one was Untrue, followed by Moral Danger, then Shigatsi. Back behind those in the field, Royal Commissioner, and Sporting will be last into the straight, but around the turn, 400 to go, and Just Bluffing kicked away at the top of the straight. Just Bluffing is well clear over Fog, followed by Stylish Conquest, then Celebra running on fairly well. Back behind those, Sandpiper Lane, Celebra, followed by Shigatsi, and Sporting is the widest runner. In the straight, racing down to the 200, Just Bluffing is the leader. Now Celebra moved up on the outside. It's Celebra putting the head in front of Just Bluffing, followed then by Sporting running on fairly well, but Celebra raced away near the line, and it's all Celebra. Celebra first, a good go for the Miners. Maybe Sporting out wide second, just in front of Sandpiper Lane and Untrue. Fairly close for the Miners, then Just Bluffing. Back behind those, then Royal Commissioner, Moral Danger, then King's Risk, followed by Shigatsi. Stylish Conquest, Fog, pulled up very quickly, and San Reno last. Number 6, Celebra, ridden by Matthew Carl. Now, Sporting may get second out wide, but there's about 3 in it. Number 6 is the winner, Celebra, ridden by Matthew Carl. Celebra, too good. Always prominent, and won very, very well indeed. Celebra, trained by John Morrissey, ridden by Matthew Carl. Number 3, Sporting, made up ground for second out wide. Sporting is second, and standing by for third. 6-3 and a further photo. 6-3 and a photo. Sporting made up a lot of ground in the straight. Ridden by John Scorse, trained by Barbara Joseph. Now the time, 1:36.38. 1:36.38 was the time.
All right, thanks, Tony. And an easy win there to Sir Libra. Of course, we were talking about that earlier there with Barbara Joseph, the trainer. Of course, Rod was discussing Sir Libra's chances there with John Morrissey, and it duly got the prize. Sporting, of course, we were also having a chat about that one too, and with John Scorse and Barbara Joseph, and so it's got the Quinella, the two interviews that we've done on that race. 6:3.13. Now at Caulfield, 4:20 Mr. Obliging, trifecta of 6, 3 and 13, $117.20. Race 5 at Canberra. Okay, now that they're at the start there at...
Good on you, Chris. Well, Brian Johns, a very busy rider. In fact, I saw the other day a story where one of the trainers described you as the Roy Higgins of the bush.
Yeah, I think he does like me a little bit. I do all his work and that, but yeah. Well, I didn't really like it, but that's up to him, I suppose. But
well, you cop the raps when you can get them, Brian. Brian, where are you based?
Wangaratta.
And you sort of flit about, you cross the border?
Yeah, sort of right between the two borders, Victoria and SDRA.
And how long have you been riding now?
I started when I was 15. I'm 37 now. It's 23 years or so.
And in that time, how many winners?
Probably near an 800.
And what about the horses you've ridden? Is there anything that stands out particularly?
Nothing really, no. I've ridden a lot of good horses that have won about 10 races each, like sort of just handy races about, northeast area. Probably Caesar's right in the old days, and like Hunker Magic at the moment. I've always got something.
What a grand galloper he is, Hunker Magic.
Yeah, he's all right. He's my best at the moment.
Tell me, have you ever been tempted to base yourself in a metropolitan area?
No, I was born in Wangaratta, so I'll stay there.
Quite happy.
Yeah.
How many meetings would you ride at a week?
Probably only a couple. Like I have a bit of a weight problem in the winter time, so I go pretty quiet in the winter time. I'm probably sort of get a bit busy from November to about March.
We're running close to a race at Murray Bridge, Brian. You've got 2 rides coming up. What do you think's the best?
The last one, like everybody else's, I reckon there's about 7 chances in it, and I'm one of them. So,
well, I think we've had about 4 jockeys tip as horses in the last, so it's getting confusing. But you do think Timed will race well?
He will. Yes, I reckon anybody who can pick the winner will be going pretty well.
All right, Brian, well, good luck, and just keep punching home those winners.
Thank you.
Hunker Magic's a bit of a favourite of mine, so I stick with him.
Yeah, well, he's my favourite too, so yeah, he goes all right.
Good on you. Brian Johns from Wangaratta here at Canberra today on Yas Cup Day, and we've got yet another tip in the final race. It's going to be a busy betting affair. Back to you, Chris.
I think the trifecta might be the way things are going here. Thanks, Rod, and to Brian Johns. It's a very strong racing area, Wangaratta. Okay, here's Murray Bridge. Canberra, once again, here's Rod Gallagher.
Thanks very much, Chris. Well, as we said, sponsors are very important for this meeting, and with me now is Mr. Alf McCarthy of Gregory McCarthy Chartered Accountants. What got you interested in the Yas Cup meeting?
Mainly the fact that we have been in practice in Yas for 70 years, my father before me, and we thought this is an occasion when we ought to say thank you to the community. Thank you to Yas for supporting us for 70 years, and this was a way of putting something back into the community.
Very friendly community, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I've been there I was born in Yas. I've been in practice for 40 years, and it's a very friendly community.
Many chartered accountants in Yas?
There are two firms,
yes.
But we've been there for 70 years. The other one's quite new. There's a firm of society accountants, certified public accountants, Tony Parker, who's fairly famous in the accounting world. He's down the street, and we get on well together.
I've always wanted to get a tip off an accountant. Have you got a selection in your race that's coming up next?
I think Blazer, but then you've got to buy it. It's even money, but I think Blazer's the one to put your money on.
All right, well, good luck. We'll try Blazer in the next.
Thank you. Yes, and thank you for your support of the Yas community's Yas Cup.
It's always a great pleasure, but I do pay for it later.
Thank you. But no, I think it's a big event in Yas, and we appreciate the support of your Sky Channel and also Triple S, the radio station. It's done a very good job.
Anyway, you've had a great day because it's a good crowd.
Yes, great day. We're enjoying seeing our clients and staff members. We had a staff member fly down from Brisbane to join us today, so that was very, very nice.
Good to have another Queenslander here. We've been talking with Mr. Alf McCarthy of Gregory McCarthy Accountants. They're the sponsors of the upcoming race here at Canberra. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, thanks, Rod. Yes, great to be a Queenslander and great to be down there today. Obviously, they're having a very big day on Yas Cup Day. I'll have to get down there. Rod Gallagher.
Thanks very much, Chris. Yeah, back here, we're working our way through the program up to race 6. What's Michael Heath come up with?
Yeah, pretty tough event, Rod. I did like the prospects of one Blazer. It opened up around half each way odds with the bookies. Been good support for this Barbara Barbara Joseph trained 3-year-old. Look, he's got 56.5 kgs for a 3-year-old. That's a big weight. Nevertheless, clearly mitigated by barrier 2. Looks well in the mounting yard. Really can't fault his condition at all. Resuming today from a spell. Good former in the city events last winter. Should get a good run in transit, and the money suggests he'll be very hard to beat. Danger, there's been good support on course for number 16, the Met. Come in a couple of points with the bookmakers, resuming today. Didn't handle the wet good tracks here last winter, and back on top of the ground today. Expected to race boldly, number 16, the Met, as is number 13, Public Profile. 3 starts ago, wasn't beaten far by Myala Red, and that form's held up during the week, Rod. Others that look well, and number 3, the Dark, could run boldly. As number 5, Mankind, a visitor from Albury, could run a bold race fresh. But the good money horse, number 1, Blazer, Dangers, 16, the Met, and 13, Public Profile.
Well, he's firing, Michael Heath. There is selections for the upcoming event as we go back to Chris in the studio.
Okay, yes, it's certainly been a great day with the late mail tips there today, and all the action from Canberra on Yas Cup Day, thanks to Rod and Michael. Now, Geelong not far off. Let's have a look at the updated there. Double Voodoo is at 6.50. Sepple Girl is at 2.40. Is still the favourite. Aberdeen Rose 3.70 and 12 Steffi's Mate. 15 Venetian's Luck, 6.30 Star Dean. Belmini's Luck at 21. 41 Cavachi, Little Wolf at 13. And then there's a lot of runners here. Down to Public Profile at 18. The Kingston Mouse at 15. The Met at 16. Gee, Tony Campbell's got his work cut out here. There are a lot of runners and some big names. Blazer, Glittering Girl, and Mankind the tips. 1, 4, 5.
Now, get settled in the saddle. A big field, the Dark, Glittering Girl standing up well. Cavachi, Belmini's Luck, Skarky, Mankind. There's the light, they're set, and away they go. Now Poetic Scholar was slowly away, and the Met Ridden Heart as the leader, taken on by Belmini's Luck down towards the inside, and the Dark is driving through. Out wide was Skarky, followed by Blazer down towards the inside. The next one was the Kingston Mouse, followed then by Little Wolf on its outside, Mankind. In behind those, Poetic Scholar, followed further back in the field, Apollo's Best and Cavachi. The next one behind those, Public Profile. Further back then, Harlem Gold. Down towards the inside as they race towards the turn, Tansadet, followed then by Monabella, and back towards the tail of the field as they race up the straight. Now was Glittering Girl, but around the turn they swing, and down towards the inside it's the Dark the leader. A couple went very wide. It's the Dark the leader, taken on by Belmini's Luck down towards the inside. Switched out, the Meadows running on. Blazer's got nowhere to go on the inside, but is now switched out and running on fairly well. Then the Kingston Mouse, followed further back then Little Wolf. Many chances, it's the Dark the leader, but now Blazer, and Little Wolf is flying down the outside. Here comes Little Wolf. Little Wolf is going out after the Dark, but the Dark holds on, and the Dark has beaten Little Wolf. Third Blazer, followed then by the Met, and the next one behind those in the field, Tansadet, the Kingston Mouse, Skarky, then Mankind, Cavachi, well back then Apollo's Best, followed then by Belmini's Luck. Glittering Girl well back, followed further back in the field, Public Profile, Never a Chance, followed by Harlem Gold, and Monabella pulled up very quickly across the line.
The winner, the Dark, 10.22.90 over 10 Little Wolf 5.70 and 1 Blazer 1.60, 3.10.1 after race 6. The trifecta there of 3.10 and 1, $1,663 race 6 Canberra. Now they're set at Murray.
Valuable sponsors for this Yas Cup program is George Dashwood from the Yas Nurseries. And we've spoken to you over the last couple of years, George.
That's right, yeah. We've been involved here for 3 years now, and we've really supported the community, and we really believe in that community spirit, and small businesses today have got to get behind that and push your little town along, and that's what we're doing with Yas.
Now, the nursery, a big business?
It is. It's a complex business. We can... actually plant the trees, grow them for the customer. We can give consultants in the forestry section, and we can also do in the horticultures. We've got 2 trained horticulturists, and we've got 1 forester on the premises. And it's a family business, so we're here for a long time, not a short time. So anybody out there that would be interested in contacting us later on about tree problems or whatever, we can help them out in agroforestry. That's a big push now in Australia, and the carbon credits that are coming on with governments, federal governments, to control that carbon dioxide emissions and that. We can do all that. Yeah, we're well trained up, but we're a small business, and we specialize.
Anyway, it's good to have your support here today. Now, George, have you got a tip in your particular race?
Well, I think Len Hoyles has done so much for our community, and with Gundaroo Stud, he's built that beautiful complex out of Capricorn, and I'd like to tip Speed Week. I hope it comes back with, and I hope everybody in the town gets behind Speed Week, because it was the Black Opal winner, and we want to see a champion back on the top, not struggling. And I think today John Morrissey's got it set, and I think we're going to see a good race, and Matthew's going to ride it well, and I think we're going to have a good result.
Yeah, well, of course, they've got the win behind them, because already they've won 2.
That's right, and Len loves his racing, and he's put his money in the horse industry, and New Haven Park has supported this race day, and Len buys horses off New Haven, and money is made round for going around, and it's great for the industry.
Good on you, George. George Dashwood from the Yass Nursery. He wouldn't be too happy with me. I reckon I use a couple of trees a day in the paper that I use, but nevertheless, good luck, and I hope Speed Week can win.
Yeah, thanks, Rod. Thank you very much.
Okay, George Dashwood there from Yass Nursery, so we go back to Chris.
Okay, thanks, Rod. Yes, one of the fine sponsors there today at Canberra, Speed Week. Huh? Looks like we better have something on that, because it certainly was a very promising horse. Let's hope it's back to form today. Now, let's have the market there, or the divs on Murray Bridge race. 6.12, Yarley Edition paid $14.40 and $2.90. To mow it now at $2.20 and $3.10 for number 9 Couture. The Quinella paid $44.
Successful young jockey of the area, Jamie Whitney. Jamie, former apprentice in Sydney, but now settled in this area?
Yeah, settled down here. I'm at Goulburn with Ken Callaghan.
And it's been a pretty successful combination.
Has, yeah. We've had a fair bit of success, and hopefully plenty more.
Well, only on Friday you and rode brilliantly too, might I say, on Forever Blushing at Wagga Wagga to win. And she's backing up today in the Cup, but you're not riding it.
No, I wasn't sure Ken was going to back her up, and I took another ride in the race, so that was a bit misfortunate.
And sadly, the horse you were going to ride has been scratched.
Yeah, it's been scratched, so I'll just sit down and watch the race from...
Well, as now an independent observer, what sort of a chance do you give Forever Blushing?
Well, it was a very good win today. Coming to the 200 the other day, I was very confident I could win the race the other day. So, if she backs up all right and she races like that again today, I think she'd be very hard to beat. It's a hard race, but, she's racing well at the present time.
Well, getting closer to the action now, the upcoming race you're riding, Bleep, which I did make the late mail. Can you give us a bit of a leg up?
Well, he won good here the other day at Canberra. He was up outside the leader. And he beat a good horse. He fought on like a bulldog. And he won good. He ended up winning by a long neck or something. But today the pace is going to be a lot quicker, and I think he may just get the sit off the pace today. I think there's going to be a lot of pace in the race, and maybe that could bring him undone.
Well, I hope it doesn't. Good luck with Bleep, and we'll just have to sit on the sidelines and cheer for Kenny Callaghan's horse in the Cup.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Jamie Whitney with us here at Canberra as we go back to Chris.
All right, thanks, Rod, as they're almost set for this Bell Pirate at 8.7.